Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. I'm your host, Najee. I know. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, almost a month, but we've been working on some things. I just recently got to be in a video with Trick Williams, which was a heck of a time. Got to meet Devon Dudley. Bunch of other things going on too. Also at NXT, it's the brand switch now. It's the black and silver. It's no longer the black and gold. They've painted the whole entire PC black now to where it's just a completely different ambiance in there. They've gotten rid of the fake people in the crowd from the last brand. And Core Jade came back. We have a very interesting but dry debut of Zarya. And tonight's gonna be a little different for us because tonight it is Sunday. Today is the day that Halloween Havoc is happening, but I am not gonna be doing my predictions by myself because this time I have the host of Knockouts in Three Counts and Body Slam himself, Kyle Collison. What's going on, brother?
What's good, my G? I appreciate it. It's good to see you again. I'm as we record this, I'm getting ready. I'm still a believer in Joe Hendry. You can check out chatting with him, but I'm headed to the TNA tapings today.
All right, man. Yeah, I was ready to say, how's your weekend been? You've had a pretty busy weekend dealing with all the TNA
I
and
mean,
everything like
Bound for
that.
Glory was dope. So glad to have it back in the city. Glad that we had a good turnout. They said it was sold out. I mean, there were people everywhere. I'm just glad to see that Detroit showed out because enough stuff doesn't come to Detroit. So like that was good to see. Hardy's getting their big win in Full Metal Mayhem. It was painted chairs, painted tables. It was all over the place. Uh, if you pay attention to our stuff, knockouts and three counts, I asked Nick Nemeth at the press conference if we were going to see John Layfield, and he said that John Layfield said, "Oh, that's going on this weekend, and maybe I'll have to pack a bag." Well, I got my answer from Nick Nemeth. John Layfield showed up and clotheslined
Oh
Joe
dear.
Hendry straight to hell.
Yeah. So tonight is Halloween Havoc. This is the first time I think it's been on the road in a little bit. I remember last year was a 2 week event that we got to attend in Orlando, which was a great time. We got to get you out here sometimes too, man.
I would
Definitely
love to
need to
do
see you
that.
around.
When I come to Florida, you got to give me the down low on how to get in on this NXT stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. I have officially infiltrated the premises, so I got you, brother. All right, so we're gonna get started here with our prediction show. First match we're gonna talk about is the ambulance match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. Now, for me, I'm personally hoping that this is the end of the Ridge Holland is lost and confused saga. I understand that if they even want to like kind of reset his character, they're gonna have to talk about it some more. But I'm hoping that his ties with Chase U officially comes with an end tonight. My question for you is, what do you think is next for Ridge Holland?
I don't know necessarily what's next, but I definitely agree with you that I think that the thing with Chase U kind of has run its course at this point. I mean, uh, I think we need to see what Ridge can do in a single storyline, like on his own now. I mean, I think the stuff that they've had him do, like beating the hell out of Riley Osborne and obviously Andre Chase, has really done a lot to really kind of reinvigorate him as a single star from what happened on the main roster and all that stuff. I don't necessarily know who I would say would be like the next opponent for him. Um, but I definitely think that the Chase U thing has kind of run its course. Who knows? He wears the Kangol hat like my one of my original co-hosts, Devin. Maybe we'll have him and Tony D'Angelo fight or something.
Hey, you never know. That wouldn't be a bad challenge for him, truthfully. Hey, he might even go for the Heritage Cup. Who knows? But all right, so we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Who is your pick for this match?
uh, I feel like Rich Holland's kind of got to get the wind on this one.
Really?
Um, I I mean, obviously with Andre Chase coming back, I could see the other end of it, like him being the baby face and getting the big win, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, like if you did all that to beat the hell out of Chase U only for you to lose in an ambulance match, I mean, what does that do for Ridge if he's going to be the big killer going forward? So I think Andre Chase is going to look good through a good majority of the match, but I think at some point Ridge is going to pull some kind of dastardly thing and lose his shit on Andre Chase, and I think that's how he's going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think I'm gonna have to go against you on that one, truthfully, because
All
I
right.
do think that Ridge is gonna be up to something during that match that could potentially get him close to getting the win. But I think that Andre Chase gets the win here. I think that Chase U's just been on fire recently. I believe that they also don't mind my voice, everybody. I'm having a terrible allergy day down here in all fake Florida. So don't mind me if I get a little sniffly sometimes. But yeah, I just definitely believe that it's Chase U's time, and that leads me to my next point, which is I think that it's time for Chase U to get the main roster call up. They've been in NXT forever, and I believe that them even
But do they go all of
revitalizing
them
the
though?
creeds. I think so. I think well, no, actually, maybe not. Maybe it's just Duke and maybe it's just Andre because Thea needs to get a title on NXT. I think that she'd be a great person to see hold the North American Championship at some point in time. It would be
I can see that.
absolutely hilarious and great TV. And the thing about Riley, maybe Riley could go with him. I think Riley has a potential to go against people in the LWO and go against some of the other high flyers and some of the giants. And just his ability by itself could really make him stand out. He could be like a new Ricochet in a way. But
I can see that.
yeah,
I
so
can see
yeah,
that.
so there it
Maybe to
is. Who do you
SmackDown with his wife.
Yeah, that might also happen as well. Chase, you could go to SmackDown. I wouldn't mind seeing well, who knows what it's gonna look like after they do this new draft, because I think they're gonna do it before the Netflix deal or happens. So who knows?
Interesting. Interesting. That'd be in an earlier draft, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest way to do it. That way you do get Roman on Netflix because I know they want him bad and they've already been advertising it like crazy. But that's a different conversation for a different time. All right, next up we have Fatal Influence. All three members, we don't know which one it is yet, in a spinner's choice match against Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Now, first question for you, which one do you think it's going to be?
I think it needs to be Fallon Henley. Uh, I think JC Jane is the obvious choice, but I've been saying this for a while. I've said it on knockouts and three counts on multiple occasions at this point, especially since the heel turn. I really feel like Fallon Henley is highly underrated. I feel like we see a lot more fire from her as a heel. I like the group as a whole. Um, my choice is going to be Fallon, but if not her, then JC, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I think that it's Fallon. I think she has that it factor that Shawn Michaels always likes to talk about. And her turning heel, like you said, it was the best thing she could have did for her character. And it needs to stay that way because she's great at it. Fantastic.
Agreed.
And that leads me to my next point, which is my prediction. I'm going to say that right now. I think that Fallon Henley wins the belt. I think that whatever member of Fatal Influence goes into that match walks away with the title. The biggest swerve we could get is if they threw Jasmine Nix in there and she won it. That would be
If Jasmine
insane.
gets
And
in
then I
there, I
could,
don't see her winning it.
but what if they did it? What if they pull the trigger on it and then that creates the envy to a rookie like they've been talking about forever? Because that's the whole entire thing is, oh, we don't want any rookies, but she's the exception. But what if the exception wins the belt and now neither of them have the title and they kick her out?
I like what you're putting down. I ain't mad
Yeah.
at it.
I think that'd be fun. It'd be interesting. And then that way you kind of give Jasmine a push in her own way so that people can just maybe actually see her and see her talents more than just seeing her as a side piece or somebody that's just kind of there on the side and yada yada yada. Next one, we got the men's North American Championship. We got Tony D all alone because Oba has legitimately killed every single person that is followed behind Tony D. Family's dead. Versus Oba Femi. Now, me, I think Oba needs that title back. It's just to protect Trick Williams, first of all. But I think Oba needs to get that title back. Oba should have never lost it in the first place. I said a few episodes back that I think Oba should be one of those people that never loses a title, should just vacate it every time because he's just that good. And he shouldn't be that good.
No,
He
you
only wrestled
can't
like
have him
12
vacate
matches.
every time. Come on now, dog. What are you gonna do?
I'm talking about
Create
like the first
Goldberg
couple times.
2.0?
Yes, why not? But do it the right way.
Oh,
Like this dude's
jeepers.
believable. He's got
Are
more
we
than
gonna
just one
add
trick.
50 matches in between each win too?
No, that's the thing. He's only had like what, maybe 12 matches altogether, and he's just looks that good. and he's that terrifying of a figure, kind of like how an original Kane was or an original Undertaker, except he talks. And now he's got the crowd backing him up. I think it's great. Why not just keep him hot? Like it's gonna be really tough to break him back down. Well, probably actually won't be that tough because he's like I said, he's good. But I personally would love to hear your opinion on it. Do you think Tony D keeps the
I
title and
I
keeps
don't.
moving?
I
Yeah.
don't. I really kind of think this is kind of similar to the situation we just saw on Raw with Jey Uso and Braun Breaker. I think how Braun Breaker took the belt back from Jey Uso. I kind of think that's what we're going to see with Obafemi. I think Obafemi's a savage. The stuff that guy's able to do and the way he's able to throw people around is something else. And, who knows? Maybe this could be the start to a heel turn for Tony D as well when you think of it in the sense of like, okay, well, now he doesn't have the family around him. What is he going to do? Start blaming them for why he lost if he loses?
Yeah. Now something I did notice this week too, even when it comes to the family, Riz got taken out. Later on, you see Oba bring out Nikita Lyons' jacket and said, "Hey, you left
I'm
us."
with it. I'm a big Nikita Lyons guy, but we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, yeah, dude. But like, whoo, could you imagine that power couple? Because
Come
like,
on with it. I'm with it, bro. Let's get
picture
it.
this: Lash Legend, Trick Williams versus Nikita Lyons, Obafemi.
mean, I'm here for it. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
I'm here for it. Let's get
That's
it.
money. Yeah,
We just need Nikita to stay healthy, and we'll be all right.
yeah, dude. She seems like she's doing fine. Like the couple of matches that I've seen her in so far, she seems like she's doing fine. She's not moving at the same pace as she was before, for obvious reasons. But whew, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think we both agree Obafemi gets that belt back. That Obafemi doesn't lose that belt for quite some time. He'll hold it until Stand and Deliver at least. That's what I think.
Yeah,
But
that's my guess too.
yeah. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the tag team match that we never saw coming between Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez versus Julia and Stephanie Vicura. Now, what it was really cool to see it this past week at NXT, them working together and it being so like perfect. It was like
They're frenemies. Come on, bro.
I know they literally if The Rock and Stone Cold, if we got that and they just became a tag team for like 3 weeks in a row, that's basically what that is. They hate each other, but they love each other and they know each other's moves so perfectly to where their chemistry is unreal. So my thing in this match is it's very, very obvious that Cora's turning at some point.
Of
Like
course she is.
the original story was Cora was supposed to have that title, but then she got hurt. So then, of course, they put Roxanne in the position, and she's been there ever since. So a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Stephanie or Julia that dethrones her, and I've been saying for the past 2 months that I think it's Cora. Whenever Cora comes back, that's when the end of the Roxanne era will slowly start to wither away, because they want her to be the face. That's why she's still on every single piece of merchandise, regardless of how long she's been gone.
So I would say that Cora could most likely is going to turn on her, but I could also see this kind of being like the situation you talked about a couple matches earlier in that, maybe um Roxanne's been the heel now. So what if Roxanne turns on Cora and says, "Look, I didn't forget about all the shit that you did." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was convenient for the time, but yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think they want a lot out of Cora Jade. As far as Stephanie Vicker and Julia, I got high hopes for what they do with them. I got to give them a lot of credit in the fact that how well oiled they were for being a team that's like never really teamed together like that. Obviously, there's also like the language barrier too. So like
Yeah. Big
for
time.
them to do that well, like on that small of sample size of them working together, like um to me, I thought that was really good. As far as this match, I feel like Vakur and Julia got to get the win here.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I
I
agree.
really do because especially with Julia already losing to Roxanne, like if they lose again, I kind of feel like that's gonna like halt their momentum.
Right.
But yeah, that and I think they got to get the win in this one.
Either that or they make Stephanie eat the pin because Julia's already ate one
She
since
can't
she's
lose.
been
Yeah,
there.
she can't lose again.
Yeah, so maybe they might make Stephanie do it just to show that like, hey, these people are superstars, but they are capable of losing. I also want Julia and Stephanie to win. I am concerned though that both of their lust for the title might get in the way. That's something that I am going to watch out for at some point in time during the match because they do have a history, you know, facing each other, and they're both there for the same exact reason, and that's to be the best. So hopefully it works out for them to where they can just keep doing what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. But I agree with you 100%. I think that Julia and Stephanie walk away with this match, and they're going to look incredible doing it. So here we go. The main event, Trick Williams versus Ethan Page for the NXT Championship. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I think you're underselling it first. I mean, you got a little something to this one, Mr. fucking rap star over here, Mr. Rap Video over
Hey.
here. I seen it. I seen it. I pay attention. I gotta
I mean,
say,
that's why I asked you first because I feel like everybody knows they know whose side I'm on because it's now officially a part of history. So like
that was dope, first of all. I mean, but dude, it was dope to see you in there, but I gotta give credit where it's due. Ethan Page's response was so much better than I expected. Like, I mean, not that I expected it to be bad, but dude, he cooked.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was
Ethan
really
Page
good.
has cooked Trick in a lot of the promo stuff. I love Trick. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. I'm a
If it
fan of
wasn't for
Trick.
the crowd,
I was gonna say, especially the one that just happened this last week with the white jacket. You cannot tell me that Ethan
we
didn't
couldn't
cook
hear
him.
him. We couldn't hear him. See, they filter us out so much. You don't understand how loud we really are. We booed him like nobody's business to where we had no idea what Ethan was even saying the whole time.
Go
Like,
back and
you
watch it,
can't
bro.
hear him.
Ethan
Yeah.
cooked him. Ethan cooked him because Trick even froze a couple times in that and kind of like almost
Yeah.
paused like as far as his response. Not in like a scared thing, but I mean a lot of what Ethan Page has said, like leading up to this match, I feel like is kind of just getting like shoved under the rug. Like, okay, everybody wants to make the joke, oh, it took you 17 years just to get to NXT. Let's not forget, the man's got 17 years all through TNA, had one of the best
Yeah.
tag teams in TNA, had the whole run with Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander is one of the best in the world, no matter the company you're talking about. I mean, that guy's got all the experience and he's got AEW. Whether he wanted to leave there or not, he was also in AEW and doing his thing. So this guy's got experience in all the places you could really have experience. And I feel like a lot of that is getting pushed under the rug. I think the more natural athlete of the two, obviously, is Trick. But if we're talking about experience and savvy in the ring and knowing your way around that and being able to outthink or outcon an opponent, I think
Yeah. It's
that's
Ethan.
all ego.
Yeah.
I think as far as who I think wins, I think that Trick is going to win somehow. But
He's already
at the
beat him
same
twice. Don't forget.
he has, but that's why I kind of paused in saying that because to be honest, I mean, I'm not always the biggest fan of like hot potatoes with the title and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, shit, I'm so torn because on one hand, I want to say Trick needs to win, but I mean, like you said, Ethan's already lost twice,
Yeah.
and so like if he goes and loses again, then how do you keep him as like a viable threat to either A, keep him around the NXT title, or what are you going to do? Just hot shot him to the main roster, which okay,
Yep.
that's also an option too.
Say he
So
leaves. So like that's what I was gonna kind of comment on. Like, say he loses. Like the third three times to the same person, and he's sick of Ava, he's sick of NXT. He's like, you know what? Screw it, I'm out of here, and then he leaves because he can, you know. Then he goes to where? SmackDown. Guess who's there? Cody Rhodes. I think that's what you do with him. That way,
I'm not mad
he
at it. I
gets
mean,
he gets what he
go ahead.
deserves.
Sorry.
17 years, like you said, like 17 years just to get to NXT, and that seems to be the hot topic for a lot of people. Maybe that was just to get him ready for the actual real all ego push right down our throats.
Well, I mean, and I think there's such a nasty like stigma on like, oh, he had to go to NXT. Dude, like realistically, if you the bloodline is the hottest thing in WWE, has been for the last 4 years.
Solo went to NXT before he went to the main roster.
Yeah, and I saw him at FSW in I think it's FCW maybe. I can't remember which one it was. FSW that was in Las Vegas like
Yeah.
way before he got big. And dude, he had it then. So it's like, and now he's just having fun. You can tell by how his promos are changing. You can tell by how goofy he's starting to get. Like he's been ready for this for a long time. They just made him say literally nothing for 2 years.
I think Jacob Fatu has cooked him, but that's like a whole nother story for another time. Shout out to the homie Jacob Fatu, but yeah, I think he's cooked Solo. But as far as this match with Ethan Page and Trick, man, like I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Ethan does lose, that they try to move him up, but I wouldn't be shocked if they give Ethan this win here. Or I see this going one of two ways. I, I something tells me that I think Trick is going to keep the title, but I could also see this totally being where like there's some kind of like schmaz finish or whatever to where they kind of have to stretch it out. But I think if Ethan Page loses, I think they're definitely putting him on the main roster because I think him going to NXT was just like to kind of get him ingratiated with like the WWE style of
Yep.
doing stuff. And like now that he's been there and been champion, I mean, I've heard Shawn Michaels say it on multiple interviews that even though he had such a short run, like what he's done with the championship um has already shown them a lot. So I think WWE in a lot of ways I think might have already known what they were getting because of guys like you named like Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's how it plays out at all. So if I'm making a final pick, I'm gonna go Trick, but I'm not saying that I think there might not be some chicanery in this one either.
Well, you guys already know my pick. I'm going with Trick Willie the whole way. Trick James, 1000%. I think he keeps the title. I think he holds on to that title. I, in a perfect world, would love for him and Wes Lee to go for the championship at Stand and Deliver next year. I think that would be the best send off for Trick because main roster wants him. I know a lot of people don't think that he's necessarily ready when it comes to technique wise and this, that, and whatever. But main roster wants him. They scream whoop that Trick in every single arena that you go to and force. So they know him, they love him. So I think Trick, this is his time to shine. This is the real Trick Williams era. And good luck, brother. I think you got it tonight. I really do. But that wraps it up for our predictions for Halloween Havoc 2024. Now, this is the part of the show where I get to ask a couple questions for my guest.
Uh-oh.
I have four this time. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. Now, you have been working with a lot of different companies. You do MMA stuff, you do wrestling stuff. You're just very into the whole entire sports like field in general. So, and you've also interviewed God knows how many people. Um, so if you could name one favorite athlete that you've met and then tell us why, who would it be?
Favorite athlete would be
That also includes sports entertainer.
okay. So I've said it a couple times. It was cool, like in this year, like what was the thing that originally started my show was going to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando completely solo. I went to everything by myself, flew there by myself, went to everything by myself. Never really had traveled on my own anywhere. And then our show started there after. So it was really cool to get to talk with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. But uh like I said, man, you've said it yourself. We've gotten to talk to a lot of people that I never thought were gonna be like even in the Rolodex of people that I could say that I've talked to. I think as far as wrestling goes, I would say DDP is always going to be one of my favorites because he asked us to interview him. That was really shortly into when I've done interviews. So like to get to do that with a guy I grew up watching was crazy. Fight wise, man, it we've gotten to do a lot of cool stuff with that. And then like as far as favorite athletes, I would just say Darren McCarty from the Red Wings, dude. That guy has been one of our biggest supporters. Like he's went to bat for me with TNA. I literally just seen him at Rhino Show IWR here on Thursday after the press conference, and he, bro, he couldn't have been more supportive. Like, bro, I'm so proud of you for what you're doing with all the
Heck
TNA
yeah, man.
stuff. You know what I mean? So
That's
like
incredible.
stuff like that's really cool for me. Or shout out to the homie Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch because that was the last show my pops and I went to, and now you can look over there. I've got his jersey from the Tigers on my wall in the studio. So like, yeah, man, those would be top ones for me. Booker T's always a good one too.
I know, man. He's a great dude. I get to see him every week. Great guy. All right. So next one. You kind of already answered my second one, which was going to be how'd your podcast get started, but you already nailed that one. You did that one all on your own. It's pretty crazy. Um, for this one, we got our favorite 2024 WWE moment. This year has
Mm.
been filled with so many crazy comebacks, surprises, the story getting finished. Like, what is it? What is it for you that has been like your holy shit, that was awesome moment?
I would say it's gotta be the story getting finished, right? Like, I mean, we did this for 3 years and you
Yeah.
had the big 2 day WrestleMania. You brought back The Undertaker, you brought back John Cena, you brought back The Rock, I mean, you pulled out everything but the kitchen sink for that one. And then to have it go that way, yeah, I kind of feel like that as far as big moment, that's kind of got to be the big moment, especially because the magnitude of it and the fact that if Cody, think about it, if that didn't go that way, if Cody would have lost again, what do you do? What do
Yeah.
you do? You just
Yeah.
can't beat this guy. How do I look at this guy as a championship contender? Like realistically, if
Yeah,
Cody
man.
would have
We
lost that match,
saw
it would have been direct. It would have been disastrous.
yeah, we saw the way Philly was in general. Like we firsthand. So like it's crazy to think about what would have happened, but all I know is that what's getting ready to happen is about to be nuts. Like from January all the way to April is going to be high voltage,
Let's get it. I'm
pure
ready for
peak
Vegas.
entertainment. I am too, brother. It's gonna be a heck of a time. But all right, that gets me to my last question. Yesterday, you being from Michigan, there was a very, very, very important game that happened for our state. So I need to know, sir, Michigan or Michigan State? We got to ask the real
Michigan
questions here.
all the way. That's a no-brainer. U of M all day. The reason why
That's
I
right.
shook my head,
That's right,
that's what
baby.
I'm talking about.
That's right,
Hail to the
baby.
victors.
Already
That's what
know.
I'm
That's
talking about.
this is literally for the people that had the audacity to say that Michigan State can hang.
The
Think
sad
again.
part of it is I still don't feel like I got a lot to brag about with Michigan right now because if I'm being
No,
honest,
no,
bro,
not at
we're
all.
about to we're about to
We're
get
terrible.
smashed by Ohio State and it
They're
hurts me to
gonna
say,
murder us,
it
but we
hurts
know
me
it.
to
It's
say
okay.
that.
As long
Like
as
it
we beat
really
Sparty,
hurts
we're
me.
good. We're good. That's fine. I can take one of the two. We're not playing Penn State this year, so
If
that's
we'd have lost
fine.
to
Like,
Sparty, this whole season wouldn't have meant nothing.
no, nothing. I would have blocked all notifications from ESPN to my phone about Michigan for the rest of the season. That would have been it. Portnoy, please get us that quarterback, please, for the love of God. All
We
right,
need a quarterback for
but
real, bro.
yeah, dude. All right, man. That's this is the part of the show now to where you, Kyle, you get to plug yourself in. You get to tell everybody where to find you, where to listen to you, where to see what you're doing.
You can check us out at Knockouts and Three Counts. We're on all the social medias. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those, all the places. You can check us out live usually every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, not only on Knockouts and Three Counts, but you can also check us out on the bodyslam.net channels as well as millions ran by the homie Bruce Buffer and Matt Whitaker over there as well. You can find us a lot of places. We're also on all the podcast platforms and all that stuff too. But make sure you check us out. We just had a interview with Michigan's own Cody Stamen, who's getting ready to fight in the UFC November 9th. I just had all the TNA coverage. I got to chat with Nick Nemeth. And as you can see, I believed in Joe Hendry, but something told me after I asked Nick about JBL that I kind of think I knew where that one was going. But there's a lot of good stuff that you can check out there. I know Big Trouble Ben Bishop is going to be coming through this week. We've also got Juggalo Championship. Hollow Wicked is coming to the city. We just had Caleb Connolly from NWA and Heels on for that as well. So you never know what you're going to find on there. And I appreciate the time, dude. We've been meaning to do this for a minute. Look forward to seeing you in person, bro.
Oh yeah, man. We got to make it happen soon. Soon, soon. I got a feeling we might see each other in Indianapolis. Something's telling me that might be a thing.
Is that where
But
Rumble's
yeah,
at?
dude. Yeah, it's a Rumbles at this year.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yep, I'll see you then, buddy. But hey, bro, I
All
appreciate you
right.
so much for coming on the show. It's been real. Everybody for listening. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. You guys already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us your predictions. I know it is tonight. I'm not sure if this will actually get aired tonight. If not, hey, it's been a blast, my friend. It's been a great time.
As always,
All
G.
right, this is Najee, NXT with Najee. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.